Now, the newest One Piece chapter just dropped, and if I'm being completely honest, this is one of my favorite One Piece chapters because it's giving me Skypiea vibes. And not only is it giving me Skypiea vibes because we see the island clouds, and of course we're going up this rainbow remind me of the Milky Road. It's like a rainbow road. The reason why it gives me Skypiea vibes is because it feels so secluded from the real world, even more secluded than Wano. Like when you look at Wano, we definitely got a lot of things like outside when it comes to, we saw developments of Blackbeard, developments of rocks, and like world reactions and whatnot, and even the Gorosei talking about Luffy versus Kaido. Like a lot of outside factors happen throughout that Wano arc. Well, I'll say this, Elbaf, it's not doing that just yet. Yes, it's mentioning characters from the outside world, but it seems like Elbaf is like giving us a very secluded island, jungle-esque vibe, and Skypiea gave me that vibe as well. And you look at the arcs like Wano and Egg Island that had so much world building, and then we get an arc like Elbaf where the island itself is what we're focused on, not how it's placed throughout the world, and there's no incident or anything like that. It's just an adventure. It gives me pre-time skip One Piece vibes, and that's why I'm so excited. Like even seeing Luffy and Usopp, so excited. We know how badly they want to go to Elbaf. But this chapter also gave me goosebumps, a lot of mysteries as well. So I think Oda really came back from his break and he really hit a home run. So let's just talk about this One Piece chapter. The immense size is truly a moving sight. Who can even convey this size into words properly? This is Warland Kingdom, located in Elbaf Island, familiarly referred to as Elbaf, the Kingdom of Giants. The grass and trees, the vines and flowers, the insects and fish and birds, all of the animals, all of them are breathtakingly. Adventurers do not regret the time that has gone by without return. However, in regards to this mysterious land called Elbaf, where everything is big, everything is big. If I have to write down just one thing here, I want you to always keep these words in your heart. Do not linger in this land for long. Adventurer Lewis Arnold or Lou Arnold. Now, I gotta say that's right here. And the fact that it says the start of a huge adventure, that's how you narrate an end to a chapter and a beginning to an arc. Do not linger for too long. It gave us the little garden vibe, but when they talked to as well, when they narrated on that island, and of course that's the origins of the hype to Elbaf with Dorian and Brocky dueling. I'm telling you guys right now, this arc is gonna cause a lot of havoc. And the mysterious vibe of Elbaf, like we already knew Giants, Elbaf, we already know what we're walking into. No. We're getting a lot of mysteries. Probably one of the most mysterious arcs in a long time. Surpassing even Wano, guys. That says something. And we have to talk about how Oda tried to slip in the same old trope that he loves doing, the silhouettes. And of course, it's kind of really not a silhouette because we did see the character without a silhouette, just not his front side, his back side. And that's when he met Crocus. Of course, Crocus being a former Roger pirate. We thought it could be only two candidates, Cheeky or Scopper Gaban. And definitely gotta say, the fact that there's a huge ass bear, like it gave me, and then there's a guy with a Wano Kuni hat just walking casually. I'm telling you guys right now, the vibe I'm getting is obviously Scopper Gaban, not Cheeky. The reason why I say this is because, in my opinion, even though both have spiky hair, this character is waiting for Luffy. Like Rayleigh after he met Shanks, and Shanks came and talked about how there's someone who said the exact same words of like Roger. And of course, Roger's Straw Hat went through Shanks and now Luffy. Like, come on, Scopper Gaban is an OG Roger pirate. Like, we literally see Scopper Gaban on the forefront during God Valley with Rayleigh and Roger. I'm telling you guys right now, it's definitely Scopper Gaban. And the fact that we don't know what happened to him, like we know what happened to Odin, we know what happened to Rayleigh, we know what happened to Shanks, we know what happened to Buggy, we know what happened to, I believe, Crocus. Like, Scopper Gaban is on that relevancy level when it comes to the Roger Pirate. So yeah, it's definitely him, and I can't wait until Oda actually reveals the silhouette. And if it's not him, I'll come back to this chapter video and say, yeah, Mac, you're wrong. Now, of course, Hayu Rudens, the captain of the New Giant Pirates, that's of course part of the Grand Fleet of Luffy, has the cook named Goldberg that's on his crew, and he noticed Luffy came from the underworld, and Luffy looks so completely shook. He's sweating, and Luffy does not know what to lie because he's like, he's a really bad liar. And of course, Loki told Luffy, don't tell anyone. And Luffy's actually gonna do it, guys. We didn't know if he was gonna take Loki's offer because Loki is so sinister, and we know, of course, the origins of Loki, the accursed prince. Like, he's the ultimate finesser. Everyone knows in mythology, Loki is the ultimate finesser. He tricks you. So it looks like Luffy's getting tricked by Loki. And if Luffy actually frees Loki, it's gonna cause havoc. That's the reason why Loki said don't tell anyone. Loki knows if Luffy tells anyone, they're gonna slap the shit out of him. Like, no, you're not doing this. But for excitement, as One Piece fans, I'm so happy that Luffy's going along with this. And I can't wait to see Loki released and how powerful he is. And if Luffy has to go gear 5th with all his advancement of Haki just to actually go at it with this guy, it hypes up Loki to an extreme amount. He already got a lot of hype when it comes to his connection to Shanks, all the giants needed to take him to capture him, the fact that he has a special legendary Delta Fruit. Like, he already has so much hype. And if Luffy releases him, it just brings more hype, in my opinion. I thought it was pretty cool in the chapter that Shanks told the kid that he was talking to in the bar, remember the name Straw Hat Luffy. And the reason I thought that was very cool is because he did that before he destroyed Kid. So it seems like Shanks really is going to islands and letting them know that Luffy is legit. And of course, they talk about there's a special delivery for Dory and Broggy that's going to be after the banquet. I wonder what that is. But yeah, definitely gotta say this. There's a lot, like, this is seemingly a Shanks-centered arc. Elbaf seems to be Shanks' island. And the fact that there's so many death flags for Shanks, I'm being completely honest. Like, we saw his entire grand fleet was on Elbaf. Is that not strange to you guys? The fact that Shanks has gathered all his grand fleet and they're on the same island of Elbaf. It looks like Shanks is going to war soon, and I think it's Blackbeard, and definitely got a lot of death flags here for Shanks. I'll make a whole entire video on the channel, guys, so you guys can enjoy. Now, of course, I got to talk about the cover story, which I rarely do, but this cover story was interesting to me. Udon Castle being reconstructed at the mines. It made me think of Kaido being locked up in this prison of Udon, this new prison of Udon. I don't know. It gave me the vibes of like Loki in the Underworld. Maybe Kaido gets locked up. We know that Kaido was known for locking up Eustace Kid and then Luffy. So to see Kaido locked up in chains would be cool. And Kaido has been captured a lot of times, guys. So seeing Wano having him captured, Momonosuke being under Momonosuke's capture would be interesting. The reason I think Big Mom is not captured because I have a whole video on that coming up this week, so I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, Big Mom is definitely not going to be captured, in my opinion. I gotta mention, we see that giant kid that Shanks, of course, denied on his ship. Colin. It gave me vibes of like this is like the giant version of Luffy. It reminds me of a young Hayuruden too as well when he was training in Big Mom's flashback. This definitely could be a big deal in the next One Piece time skip. Like this kid could definitely become a legit giant pirate that's extremely powerful. Like we could see the characters of Shanks' son, this kid, Momonosuke. Who else? Honestly, there's a lot of young people that could definitely grow into monsters. But yeah, I think that we're going throughout the story. We've met a lot of young kids that definitely during the time skip are going to become legit fighters. And then of course we see this huge rainbow, and yeah, this huge rainbow, you would think this is part of a new Kama kingdom with Ivankov and Bon Clay. Yeah, that's a joke for you guys. But yeah, there's Dory and Broggy that painted this rainbow. Interesting. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, this whole rainbow thing did not make no sense, but it was cool. We also learned the Elbaf village is on the tree, that huge giant tree, and they have to sail on the rainbow to get to it. But Robin even questions the science of this, saying like, how is this even possible? Like a rainbow just reflected light. This doesn't make sense. In which Dory and Broggy are like, nah, it does make sense. This is a rainbow we're rainbow sailing. And I'm just thinking, Dory and Broggy, I'm gonna go with you guys because you guys are from Elbaf. But even Nikarama's like, yeah, it doesn't make sense, but whatever. Fuck it, we ball. That's the vibe I got. It was pretty funny. We then see Hayuruden on the rainbow, of course, and he's sailing right next to, of course, the Eric. And it's someone comments and says it's like 7 seas with different colors that are making these sparkling noises. I think it was Bonnie. It was cool seeing, of course, this, but it'll be way cool in the anime. This is gonna be so fun to see in the anime. of course, and seeing two different era of giant captains in Dorian Broggy and Hayuruden was also cool as well. I think it's all just coming together. When it comes to the beginning of Elbaf, everything's just coming together, and I love it. Then, of course, we see Gerd showing a lot of love to little people, and Luffy and dissing Road, and it kind of reminds me of Shirahoshi. I don't know what it is, when she was being very how to say this, emotional to Luffy and soft to Luffy. It kind of gave me Shirahoshi vibes when Luffy first met Shirahoshi on Fishman Island. So yeah, I don't know, that's a pattern I seen in this chapter. I thought it was pretty funny when Zoro and Sanji worked together to throw a log onto Road and trap him, and Usopp said this is kind of going too far, and Zoro said no, if I actually touched him it would have been worse. Zoro saying pretty much my King of Hell mode is just a little bit stronger for this basic giant. Of course, it's cool to see when little people beat giants, and I thought it would be cool to see Zoro do it, but Zoro had some heart. He had a big heart in this moment. So yeah, Zoro definitely saved him in a sense, or spared him. And then of course Nami says not even animals would get caught by this, showing that Road might not be the sharpest in the toolbox. Like, he might not be the sharpest, if you know what I mean, guys. Sanji then goes and says, Yosh, let's go. I also want to see the Giant Kingdom. In my opinion, I think Sanji definitely has some reasons why he wants to see the Giant Kingdom. Of course, I think also you understand Whole Cake Island and that whole, there's a lot of giant lore there. And of course, Sanji also gives leader vibes doing this. I feel like Sanji and Nami are like the leaders. I'll explain in another video, but like they give me the ultimate leader vibes. If Luffy wasn't the captain, Sanji and Nami have leader vibes. I'm not saying they're the captains of the crew, but they definitely tell what to do sometimes, like do this, do that. More so, I feel like Sanji, I feel like Nami, and I feel like Frankie. I don't know what it is, but they have a very dominant vibe on them. And then, of course, we see the Hayuruden new giant pirate members in Gerd and Goldberg. Not actually save Road, which he thought, but actually mess him up. I thought that was pretty funny. And then, of course, they did like a Dorian Broggy style or like a Big Mom and Kaido style move. That's not on the same level, of course, but still, like that two giant like move, I thought that was very cool as well. Then, of course, we saw a funny moment of Sanji falling in love and Zoro saying, see, no proof of us attacking him, showing Sanji being emotional and Zoro being logical. And I do have a video on that too as well. I'm probably going to title it Why Zoro and Sanji Hate Each Other, so stay tuned for that. But I thought that was this is a moment of why these guys hate each other, guys. They're just polar opposites. When I say polar opposites, not like in how they move, I say polar opposites in the way they do things, the way they work. They do it in complete opposite steps. And after being escorted by, of course, the Hayuruden crew, Luffy says, let's go, Usopp. Elbaf village is on this level, showing how Luffy knows Usopp's obsession with Elbaf, and this is Usopp's arc. Yes, we haven't talked about it, but Usopp didn't really do much in Wano, guys. A very pivotal arc where we had Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei, Robin, Frankie really show out. I'll be honest with you. Even Chopper and Nami did some good stuff in this arc. But I'll tell you guys right now, but Chopper and Nami had really good stuff in Whole Cake Island. Usopp needs an arc. He hasn't done anything pivotal since Dressrosa with his observation hockey moment with Sugar. So yes, it is Usopp's arc in my opinion. And I talked about in the intro, we see island clouds giving a Skypiea vibe. And of course, Gerd's chest being the seats for her escorting the Straw Hats, with of course Sanji loving it as well, and Zoro just like not even caring. It's pretty funny seeing Oda do this. Like, Oda, I see what you're doing. I do see what you're doing, man, and you're a man of taste. I'll say that. And then we find out with the three levels: the Heaven realm, the Sun realm, and the Underworld realm. We just seen the Underworld with Loki. The Sun is what we're on right now, and the Heaven realm we haven't even touched. And there's many villages in the Sun Realm. I'm assuming that all the villages are in the Sun Realm. The Royal Palace is probably in the Heaven Realm, and the prison is in the Underworld. That's what I'm just assuming just off of seeing this. I'm trying to see the Heaven Realm, of course. That's where I think Loki fell from, in the Royal Palace, and now he's in the Underworld. And I feel like it might even be more connected to Skypiea somehow. We might see some strange characters or new characters or some reappearing characters like Mad Monk Rouge. Yes, he's the final worst generation we haven't seen in a pivotal arc. We saw Capone in Whole Cake Island. We saw Bonnie in Egghead Island. We saw X-Drake, Scratchman-a-Poo, Hawkins, Kid, Killer. Like, we saw a bunch of people in Wano, guys. I'm missing someone, tell me. But yeah, I feel like we definitely got to see Rouge, and then finally ended off with Blackbeard in the next arc. And we finally see Elbaf with Luffy thinking back on him and Usopp on the ship, dreaming of going to Elbaf. And it's beautiful. Shout out to Oda for this artwork. He came back off a break, improving his health, and dropped a banger when it comes to Elbaf. I can't wait to see the colorings that fan arts are going to do on this. This page was amazing, and the Straw Hat's reaction is in awe. We see Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper in awe of the Rainbow Road as well, and they all reunited. I'll be honest with you, this was a fun chapter. It was really fun, but I think that last message at the end is gonna the fun is gonna stop, guys. It's gonna end, and we're gonna get really dark in Elbaf. But in the meantime, let's just enjoy the fun before it gets super dark, because I like both. I love the fun and I love when it gets dark, guys. So that's my thoughts in this One Piece chapter. Oda, you came back from a break and you really gave a great chapter, really uplifting chapter. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and there's so many videos you can make just based off this chapter. A lot of inspiration, and I love chapters that inspire me to make content, because I'm trying to go ham for December, guys. I'm trying to do 30 days or 31 days of content for December for you guys. You guys deserve it, guys. It's the final saga. I gotta go ham.